It is just 13 days before the election, and Adolf Hitler is trending, as he does from time to time, while Donald Trump continues his war on sanity and invasion of the zeitgeist. And I have the full story about that and a Fox News host who got tongue-tied over Trump's latest ties to humanity's most famous fascist. I will show you the damning clip of a Fox host trying to justify Donald's dark thoughts in just a minute, but first some context. At a recent campaign stop, Tim Walz addressed Trump's weird preoccupation with the historical leader of occupations by citing the words of U.S. military leaders who worked with Trump and now are vehemently speaking out against a second Trump presidency.
Look, the highest-ranking soldier in America, General Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who was there with Trump, on record said, and this is a quote, "Donald Trump, the most dangerous person ever to the security of this nation." James Mattis, a four-star general, Trump's own Secretary of Defense, agrees with him. His chief of staff, a four-star general, John Kelly, said he's the most flawed human being he'd ever met. And today it's been reported that Donald Trump said, "I need the kind of generals that Hitler had." Don't be the frog in the boiling water and think this is okay. As a 24-year veteran of our military, that makes me sick as hell. And it should make you sick. Folks, the guardrails are gone. Trump is descending into this madness.
In that clip, you heard the name Hitler, which is one of the most, if not the most, thought and emotion-provoking six-letter words in our language. And that will be important when I play the revolting Fox justification in a few seconds. But first, one more clip of a Republican insider spilling the beans on Trump's fascination with fascism. Doug Heer, former RNC communications director, had this to say about Trump's shocking words and his concerns.
Why does this not damage Trump's chances? Revelations that Trump has said that he wish he had Hitler's generals, and John Kelly saying he meets the definition of a fascist. I mean, here we have Mike Pence. It should come as no surprise that I will not be endorsing Donald Trump this year, and the list goes on and on. Mark Esper, the former defense secretary, General Milley, Trump is fascist to the core. Taken together, this does not resonate.
If you look at that list, it's very damning, but Trump hasn't been damned on this by certainly the Republican base. So let's compare it to Joe Biden, right? Joe Biden had a bad debate, we all know it, and his Democratic supporters were knifing him, off the record, sometimes on the record. Donald Trump has loyal support. You had the senator from Tennessee on earlier. He's behind him 100%. So he has that base of support, and you have other voters who they've factored this in because there have been so many deal breakers for Donald Trump that haven't broken the deal. But again, I go to those voters who are undecided at this point. They know what they think about Donald Trump, and they're saying, Kamala Harris, tell me who you are and what you're going to do.
And now for the Fox debacle. Watch as Brian Kilmeade does two things while trying to defend Trump's Hitler comment. First, he reframes it as German soldiers instead of Hitler's. Perhaps there was a memo from Fox executives that said, under no circumstances use the H word. And second, he stumbles while trying to get it out. He's a professional broadcaster, but when you're live and trying to present a shit sandwich as something that's palatable, your gag reflex can betray you.
Mattis and Kelly didn't like the president, and they didn't think he deserved the job, or they didn't think he was worthy of the job, and they went out of his way to make sure a lot of the things they asked him to do that they didn't like never got done. McMaster would be frustrated because he couldn't get their attention, and he would say, it's not your job to rein in the president. It's your job to do what the president wants. And then you factor in the fact that he runs his own company, coming from the business world, the first one we've ever had. It's not even a public company. And then he obviously has frustration. And I could absolutely see him go, now, you know what? It would be great to have German generals that actually do what we asked them to do, knowing that's maybe not fully being cognizant of the third rail of German generals who were Nazis and whatever. But he was frustrated.
We know that Fox News is always quick to defend Trump against claims that he's obsessed with Hitler. And left-leaning media like CNN and alternative media like Occupy Democrats loves to keep the reminders alive. But what Doug Heer said is what really jumped out at me. Trump's words have been very damning, but he hasn't been damned within the base. And on the other side, Biden was knifed after a bad debate. Obviously, Democrats have a higher standard and consider the whole package, whereas with Trump, it has been said that the hardcore base will forgive the rest of the package, including his misogyny and bizarre oddness, and even his affinity for Hitler because of one ironic thing. Ironic because he is forgiven as the current undisputed leader of white nationalism, something he has in common with the H word. We just don't know if the undecided voters who can tilt the election are moved by even more evidence of Trump's lack of character, or if they need their concerns about the economy and insecurity over housing and jobs to be addressed again and again as we near the finish line. But what we do know is, if every Democrat shows up to vote, it will be hard for Trump's loyal generals and soldiers to outflank the blue wave. I'm Dan, thanks for watching, and let's continue to occupy democracy together.